People tend to forget that Pinot Noir has always been seen as the king of grapes or the grapes of king, depending if you are believing in kings or not, or if you are coming from an aristocratic background. Anyway, Burgundy might be the birthplace of Pinot Noir, but Pinot Noir has been emigrating everywhere. And people tend to forget, like Switzerland is the key producer of Pinot Noir, not in quantities, but maybe in percentage of the red grapes they are growing among other indigenous grapes like Humagno Rouge or other local specialities. Gamay they do as well in Switzerland. Creation wines nested on the top of the Emmeline de Ridge. Long drive to go there, but definitely worth the trip. Jean-Claude Martin is the winemaker, Swiss-born, still very Swiss in his way. He's approaching extremely precise and clean winemaking. And you can see the way he's approaching Pinot Noir is slightly different from anyone else, not only in the valley, but in South Africa. We have Creation Pinot Noir, the one they call the estate, the yellow label, 2021. It's a wine of origin Walker Bay, 100% Pinot Noir, clearly. We are at 13.5 alcohol, which is fairly ripe for Pinot. But what does that give in your glass, Kathy?
So just because this is one of the lower tier wines in JC's portfolio doesn't mean that he doesn't take it seriously. In fact, I think he takes every single thing seriously and then finds something to laugh about it. But, so it's quite a serious Pinot Noir. You know, you can get those that have been made in a slightly fruitier, more friendly, more open, immediately open, more generous style. But for me, this is a little bit more serious. Look, the color is ruby with just a little hint of garnet on the rim. The nose is not that immediate, friendly, upfront cherry, pretty raspberry fruits of Pinot Noir. Instead, this for me initially had the really deep red cherries, which were not showing so much sweetness. There's a little bit of savory brush and scrub on the nose as well.
Yeah.
I did pick up a little bit of sherbet and then some musky pink sweets, if everybody remembers the tiny little musky pink sweets. JV doesn't know what I'm talking about.
No, but are they still available for sale somewhere?
Yes, they are still.
Okay.
Don't you worry. And then JC takes the seriousness also onto the palate because it's certainly no pushover. For me, this wine is all about the structure on the palate. Yes, there's underlying cherry and a little bit of cherry sweetness there, but what we've really got for me in the glass is the grape tannins that are giving it, grape or stalk tannins that are giving it a beautiful firm structure, and that's been complemented by oak, but not sweet vanilla oak. It's a nice savory oak toasting. And then I find on the finish is a bitter cherry finish. So for me, definitely not finishing sweet in the glass. And as I say, no pushover. It may be the entry level of their Pinots, but it's certainly one that makes you sit up and think.
Creation Pinot Noir 2021, I agree with you. I had this sweet candy floss on the first nose, but then if I was on a blind tasting, I would have to think twice about Pinot Noir, because when you think Pinot Noir, talking about maybe more fruity red berry style, the raspberry, the strawberry style, while here we are on the darker side of the fruit. We are, as well, I'm on the sweet black cherry, and as well, it's somehow reminds me some Pinot Noirs you find either on the east of France, like in Jura, or in Switzerland, a touch of earthiness that gives a austerity, but that makes the wine be so long on the palate. And remember, as good Swiss, they always consider what they will eat and with the wine they produce. And it's a textured Pinot Noir. I'm yes, I feel the hint of wood, which is clearly there. I wonder if you haven't been a bit of full bunch as well. Maybe not much, but the texture is beautiful. It's so, like you said, it's a serious wine, made seriously, and don't expect upfront fruit that will just disappear after 1 year. That's probably a wine that will take time to actually open itself. And I know none of you really want to keep wine for 10 years, but the way this wine is textured and structured can actually make it worthy at least a few years in your wine cellar.
Absolutely, about 5.
Yeah, about 5.
I'll see you halfway.
Thank you.